Hey, Julie.
Hey,
Welcome to
Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Hey,
Welcome
Julie.
to Hey, Julie. It's a podcast. It's a something. It's a live show. It's on YouTube's. It's on the Twitch. It's on the Apple Pods and the Spotify's. My name is Brett.
I'm Danielle.
Hey, it's been a while. I mean, it's only been a
know.
few days. It's been a while for us. The two of us have been apart. We've been separated. I blacked out on Friday and I went on a 45-minute rant, which the podcast listeners can enjoy. You dropped in a little bit.
I enjoyed it. I dropped in. I did a voice mail, but I enjoyed listening. I was tweeting through it, Brett. I listened to it myself and I was laughing out loud. You did a great job.
Listen, I mean, I'm not going to I want to try and have a little bit of modesty, but it was pretty good. Like, I don't know. Afterwards, I was like, this is pretty funny. Like, I kind of lost my, I kind of went on some crazy tangents there, but
it was great. My only beef really is that I felt like you got some really great questions that I thought I would have brought a lot to, and I didn't get to because I wasn't there. But we got some great questions tonight as well. Questions, comments. So I won't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, well, let's dive into it. So since we spoke last to the audience, Memphis won HOH, right?
Yep.
And both of us, we texted each other. We mentioned on our little pods, could Memphis have a case of the HOH-itis 19?
Could he?
Yeah.
And, did he ever? Does he ever?
And it took a whopping 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you know what? It also saved the season.
Yeah.
I stan Memphis's HOH-itis. I'm so glad. I'm so happy. Can you imagine we live in a world in 2020 where we're like, thank God for Memphis being HOH?
No. I mean, you were high on Memphis coming into the season. We called him a woke daddy.
Yes.
Even from he gets this card from Big Brother I'm assuming shortly after the competition, everyone's still dressed up and he's like, house guests to the room, and it's like, talking. And it's like, even though he was kind of bringing everyone into like sort of just read this new rule thing, like this new rule card about the have-nots, there was just like an attitude about it of like, I'm the king now and you all better bow down.
It was an attitude of, I haven't been on TV for 15 years and I'm going to soak up the sun. I'm going to enjoy my spotlight. Everything was a performance for him. And I, for one, say thank you. Thanks for bringing a little theatricality to the proceedings.
When this damn virus is over, he has Gunther on the Friends reboot vibes, where he's like, I've been doing nothing. I've been gaining weight and going balder than I was, and I'm here and I'm gonna like plant my flag and make my
mark
known. Yeah. I'm back on TV, baby.
It's been great. So yeah, we had the episode last night. I mean, so much has happened on the feeds as well. Thank God. That was something else that we were worried about. Like I'm so bitter because I had the week off last week. So I was like, yes, I'll watch feeds 24/7. I'll see all the drama. It was the most boring week of feeds ever. So now, of course, I'm back to work and I won't be able to watch as much. But things are picking up and that's a good thing. I'm happy.
When the house guests are saying on the feeds that the feeds are boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit rough, but they
were aware.
We got Memphis as the HOH and he wants to make everyone sweat, because what you really want to do in any stage and as HOH in any stage of the game, especially the first couple weeks of Big Brother, is make everyone really uncomfortable and not like you while you're HOH.
So classic move.
A power move by Devin, as we all remember.
Sure.
Devin, who has a daughter, winner of BB16. Oh
yeah,
wait,
of
course. Actually, no, didn't work out for him. Like,
she was back.
Say what you want. I know, God. Say what you want about Cody, but he kind of like, he mainly played the first week HOH as well as he could. People came
Yeah.
out and didn't really want to go after him. Like, and he
No.
just kind of came out in an alliance, and people might go after him for that. But for the most part, people can't even figure out what alliance he's in.
He played great for the game, horribly for the feeds.
Oh,
Memphis is team fun feeds. Memphis said, I'm giving the people a show. I'm going to make people sweat. I'm going to be a cocky bastard. I'm going to tell people to their face, I don't know who's safe. Maybe you should play in the safety suite. Like even his own alliance. So let's get to the beginning of the episode.
yes.
The new thing this season is that have-nots get to choose their replacement have-not. So everyone has to stand up and say like, okay, I was a have-not this week. Now this week I choose so-and-so to be a have-not. So Ian doesn't want to do it. And little Miss Nicole Franzel offers to take his place. So that's one save for Ian this week.
Oh, Ian's masterfully just having all the ladies carry him to the end. Ladies love cool Ian.
They love him. That little salt and pepper. It's working for him. That and Memphis is pissed. Secretly, Ian has been his target. Like he wants to get him out, and it comes out in this episode that it's because he wants to like get revenge for Dan.
That is such a like baby. That was the fun. And like this clip has been online. Is like I'm gonna get revenge for Dan Giesling, and he kind of says it weird too. He kind of says it like he's drunk, and it's like, bro, this was like 12 years ago, and like
also Dan has won before. Yeah,
Dan doesn't care. Like Dan doesn't care that he lost. I mean, he probably does. Like he's a competitive guy, but like I don't know. Like it seems like Memphis is, I guess, better friends with Dan now than Ian is. But like I don't know. Just Dan strikes me as a guy who's like doesn't have the big old Ian axe to grind. Like
it's just so funny to me. I know that Dan is like BB royalty, but it'd be so funny if they all were like, I'm doing this for Victoria. Yeah, I'm playing this game for Howie. Like all these random Nicole's like, this one is for Holly. Like all these.
Yeah, and it would be like if Josh came in here and Christmas was like, I got to win this year for Paul because Josh beat Paul and Paul's my best friend.
It's just really random. But so anyway, that's Memphis's whole plan. He says it in the DR, but he doesn't tell his alliance. He's being very deliberately he's not being transparent at all. And it's sort of pissing his alliance off. But he tells everyone, I don't know, so you should play in the safety suite. And I personally loved this move of like, make everyone play, burn through that power. Yeah, it's going to make people hate him, but people are going to hate him regardless because he has a shitty attitude.
It's a good move in the context of the safety suite, right? It's like he didn't play the first week. He can't play this week. He can only play the next week. And he wants to have as few competitors in that competition as possible.
I love
That's a great strategy. Maybe like say that a little bit more outwardly to your own alliance members.
That's what's so funny. He's so blunt when he's talking to Nicole or David or Bailey, even like watching the feeds and a little bit in the episode, you see it. He's like, I don't know, you might be going up, so you better play. That's all there is to talk about. You know, usually it was so refreshing because usually these one-on-ones with the HOH, it's like, so look, here's what I have to offer you. Here, let's make a deal. Let's work together. How can we make this work? Memphis didn't want to hear anything. He was just like, I don't know, play the safety suite, figure it out. That's it. Goodbye.
I watched some of those one-on-ones on Thursday night. People going in. It's like I watched Nicole's, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good." It's rough when you're watching like an awkward conversation between two people who are like not really on the same page.
No, she is not his cup of tea.
No, exactly. I watched that. I was like, "Oh, this isn't really great for Nicole here." No. And but then Kaser goes in next, and you have this weird thing too. The OG Big Brothers, as Janelle puts it, like there is this sort of weird respect among all the people who are parents.
Thank God, yeah,
and have been on Big Brother, usually like more towards the earlier seasons. So Memphis, Kaser, Janelle, like everyone, most of the house is like go after Kaser and Janelle.
Yeah.
And
He will
Memphis
not.
isn't going to do it. Like he has this kinship with them where even though he's not working with them, he talks with them a lot. He talks about the game with them, maybe not in specific terms because they're not in the alliance together, but they sound ideas off each other. It's
Well, that's the thing. He clearly likes them. I think he personally likes them more than anyone else in the house.
Mhm.
So I think it was smart of him to not necessarily be in just like the tightest alliance with them. Like, good to diversify your portfolio in a way. But it's kind of nice that they all just like each other.
I've been
Sorry.
No.
One thing I noticed is that, like, well, of course they're older. They all have careers where, like, they're playing this game for fun. Janelle even talked about it. She's like, I lose followers going on this. She was like, this is my expensive hobby. Like, I'm not getting that much out of this.
Yeah, exactly. If you sell a mega mansion in Minneapolis, that only takes a couple signatures, right? Like, she's probably getting paid, a few 20 grand or 30, or who knows, however much these people are getting paid for the whole summer or whatever. She probably makes more in one commission than she does playing this nonsense for 3 months.
So they're just coming into it from a different perspective, and they've touched on it a little bit. Whereas, like, all these new school players, it's like their entire fucking livelihood depends on this game. They have to make it far so that they're, like, beloved by fans, so they can go on, like, the convention tour or charge for or get on Cameo or whatever.
Those little strips that you put on your teeth to make them whiter. Like, Nicole is not practicing medicine anymore. Franzel is a social media influencer.
And the other Nicole is a podcast host. And as podcast hosts, we can tell you there's not that much money in it.
We have supplemental income. In fact, we don't make $1 from this podcast. Like,
we do it out of passion,
exactly,
and love for the game. And
if you listen to my 45-minute rant on Friday, then you know that's passion.
Yeah. But so anyway, back to the episode. Memphis will not put up Janelle and Kaser, which is great.
Great for us.
So great. And then we get to have, like, the fun safety suite. Who's going to play? Who's not going to play? David ends up playing. Christmas ends up playing. And that's one thing I'll say about this episode is they make it seem as if Ian was the one who was like, Christmas, if you win it, please save me. Apparently, I didn't really see it, but on the feeds, Franzel is the one who sort of confirmed Christmas to play for Ian and make sure that her little millionaire club or whatever alliance member is safe. So she needs a little credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone hates on Nicole. Like, she's doing pretty well, and like we have this growing war between Franzel's side and between Kaser and Janelle. I'm like, I think Franzel was like, you and I were joking like before the pod right now. It's like, who's gonna win? I don't know. My money's kind of on Cody or Franzel or something like that.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're doing great. So had to give her a little bit of credit for that. So the safety suit competition is like bouncing drinks on a tray. And I don't know why, but like one of the questions when they were all in the diary room session about this game was like, so have you ever been in the service industry? Like I don't know if this was like a nod to our essential workers who are out there having to fucking work during a pandemic.
Slinging Long Island iced teas at the TGI Fridays with a full-on face shield.
Exactly.
Like they're performing heart surgery.
If it was sort of like pandering to them to be like, we see you. But like they all had to be asked like, I've never served, but damn, do I have any respect for it. Like I've worked as a bartender. Let me tell you, it's hard work. And I have, Danny talking now, I have worked as a bartender. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's also like very weird that that's what they got out of this comp.
It was
this isn't real bartending.
No, I mean, it's just balance. It's like a child's game. You're balancing wood blocks.
We have to talk about, as if we would gloss over. So everyone does their thing, they maybe drop it a little. The table flips flops a little. Some people are good. Some people are bad. We get to a little someone named Davon. And Davon, we absolutely love.
Oh, yes.
Her presence in the house is so needed. It's so great. She has a great moment also where she's talking about being a darker Black woman and how she feels she's gold. And it's like very moving and a great moment. It's so wonderful they included it.
They've done this twice now because it was like in day 2, but I think it was on like an episode kind of shortly after that where Kaysar does a sort of a whole thing about, I guess how important it is for him to play as, as a Muslim. And then also, relating that to everything that's been going on this summer with Black Lives Matter and stuff. And you know what? After years of CBS not really addressing this stuff at all, putting their players of color in kind of a shitty position year in and year out, like I know it is nice that they're giving time for this stuff. It's like it's not related to game. It's not, not related to.
Well, it's refreshing because usually what they have to dedicate that time to is house guests being kind of racist. So it's like a very nice choice for them to say, you know what, there's all these other conversations, especially just because they happen to have 3 Black people in the house this year. Like, thank goodness it's probably more than they've ever had. So these conversations are naturally coming, and it's like so much better for people to see that side of things. Now go ahead.
No. I agree with all that. I mean, there's probably more in this season of BBUS. Seems to me like probably one of the most diverse seasons we've had. Right? We have
there's Kaysar.
It just reminds me of like a more international season of Big Brother. So I look at these international casts and I'm like, wow, it just seems like they're just doing a lot better on. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just, No,
it's good. It's really good. But so shout out to that moment. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I really wanted to talk about was Davon. Oh, my dog's shaking. Was Davon in this comp? She is so bad.
And she didn't even do that bad in the final the final numbers though.
She did.
I'm getting 8 minutes. Oh, I was getting her confused with someone else. Sorry. She did really bad in it. She did really bad.
She took off her shoes. She for some reason didn't think like she must have thought like you can't put the drinks down or something. Like everyone else you saw like putting them down, putting them back on the table, measuring it out. She clearly thought you couldn't. So she was like, I'm going to take off my shoes and pick them up with my feet. I've never seen, it was incredible. I was just like, this is so perfect for Davon.
Yeah, I want her to win something so badly. She was close. She was close on Thursday night, right?
I know. But it was that's like Davon in a nutshell. Is like, couldn't play, but so entertaining to watch.
we're hopefully we're gonna get a win from her soon, and it's that someone's not gonna win when it's like they do the DR and it's like the beginning, they're just beginning to show the results, or it's like it's the beginning of the competition and the person in the DR is saying like, man, I really want to win, or like I'm feeling really comfortable with this comp, and then like fart sound. No, they did it.
So good. But so Christmas absolutely creamed the competition.
Oh yeah.
And this unleashed a beast. Like this, for what it was, which was winning a comp that honestly I don't think had anything to do with skill whatsoever. I'm sorry. It was balancing things on a plate. It was not like speed. It was not strength. It was not these things that Christmas prides herself on. For winning a comp like that, she really let it go to her head. She was like, I am unstoppable. On the feeds, she was like, I am a champion. Like, that's what I do. I win comps.
It's super weird. And on top of that, it's like, that is her stated goal this year, is to win competitions. And I don't think it's like going to fully work out for her long term. Like, because that is her goal. She was so burned by essentially not being able to play in any competitions her first season. She thinks it's all about the competitions this year.
Yeah.
Which it really isn't going to
a
be.
misread of the whole game.
Yeah.
Every time, special shout out. I know I've said this before. Every time I watch the feeds, if Christmas is on the feeds, I have to change it. I can't listen to her talk about herself. And also, speaking of special shout outs, because she didn't really feature that heavily in this episode, but Bailey's my new fave.
She's great.
She has done a 180. I mean, we always knew she had it in her, and it was just Swaggy dragging her down. But like, this has proved it, because on the feeds, she's so personable. She's so lovely. She's fun. She's teaching them yoga. She's just like, she's got a pretty good read. It's not great, but it's like she's getting there. It's not as bad as, like Nicole A or Devon. Like, she's trying to work with Janelle and Kaser. She's just great. I think she's a delight.
Yeah, no, I'm really pulling for her this year. Like, it seems kind of like she's kind of playing it, pretty mellow, which is what you need to do in this game for anybody.
Yeah.
It seems like her and Devon are, they're working together, and they have this thing with Connect 4, which is Cody and Enzo, which is, it's in itself sort of an extension of the commission thing that's the larger alliance with Franzo and whatever. It's not bad to be, and this was, I think Steve Moses like said this outwardly, like his goal was to be the lowest person on the totem pole in a larger alliance, because you have these two sides lobbing bombs at each other for so long. You can kind of hope to be that like mouse in the trench, and all the soldiers are fighting each other, you're scurrying through. Hopefully that's a good strategy for them. Hopefully they can pull out some wins, some competition wins this year. And I can see that strategy working out for them. I don't know if it'll win or Bailey will win.
I don't either. I would love to see Bailey or Day win HOH. I would absolutely love it. But,
absolutely. Oh my God, to see what would happen. That would be
amazing. I don't know that it will happen.
I agree. We need one of those rando comps. We need like a true.
Yeah, we need what's it called? Just a random like crapshoot.
We need like, we gotta hit a golf ball off a trampoline and into a thing, and whoever gets the most points wins. Like, I don't know.
We glossed over. Wait, there's one other important part of this episode that was like made into a big deal in the feeds, which was Memphis chose David to be a have-not, which set the scene for we get like, what the hell? I don't even know how to talk about David's game, because he's so bad. He's really very bad. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I retweeted this today, but like Danny or someone was talking to him. He's on the block and was like, "So what's your plan?" And he, like, "Do you have a plan?" And he's like, "No." She's like, "You got to get one. What do you mean?" And sure, he might not be telling her his plan, but dude, like, whip the votes. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think he was always going to go up, because Memphis had like a thing in his head of like, you have to prove yourself. You want to be, I think Memphis thinks he won Big Brother. He seems to think that like, because he made it to the finale, he's a winner, which is hilarious. Like, Memphis is such an amazing villain.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I know you really are into it. You like the villains though, and like, I don't know. I feel like villains.
I need some drama. I need something.
I know
they can't all be kisses and rainbows.
I know we were calling him our woke daddy king this off season, but with this, I mean, people were talking about this in the house. It was kind of a weird look. Him, the way he's kind of just picking on David.
He definitely.
Like, first of all, did you watch BB21?
I don't think he did.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, the only time I could think about is like, Danny, is this your man's? If so, come grab your man's, because
he's not my man's the way like Kaser is my man's. Not at all. But he is my villain that I'm grateful for. Just the same as like I'm grateful for Danny, because at least she's way overplaying right now, but at least she's doing something. She's like a catalyst for movement in the game.
Yes.
We were so lacking that like, And we were so lacking like anyone willing to just step up and be interesting, that I'm so grateful that Memphis did, that I'm willing to forgive any oversights at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Because the downfall is going to be delicious. You know it
That's
is.
what I'm going to say is that,
Yeah.
you know what I really can't wait for is next Thursday night.
Oh my God.
Unless like I mean, nothing ever. I mean, I think we're in for an interesting HOH. Like, here's what's gonna happen. Like, Janelle's gonna win HOH, or Casey's gonna win HOH, or like
Yeah,
Davon's
right.
gonna win HOH, and
Yeah.
Aaron's gonna be like, yes, queen, you know, all the faves. And then Memphis or Cody is gonna win the competition, because it's like I think so. I think if Nicole Anthony doesn't stay, Nicole Anthony would be eligible for it. But I think if she doesn't stay, it would be Memphis, Cody, and only 2 other people. So it would be, and so if either of them win, it seems like either of them is gonna keep the other one safe, unless Cody's just like, maybe he doesn't, and it's just like,
I don't know.
Keep Tyler safe, or
I don't know. Like, it might not be, but that's the thing. It doesn't have to be. Justice for Memphis doesn't have to be swift. Like, I'm thinking of Polly. There was a very steady rise, which made that downfall so good.
Oh yeah, and I mean, a week before the downfall, it was like week fucking 5 of Pauly just like manhandling the game, and we were like, this is just over, right?
Yeah, we were like, write the check.
And a week later, he was crying into the cherry pie that he had to make as part of the challenge.
And that's what I want. I need another iconic villain like that. And so far, Memphis is delivering. He's rude. He's picking on David. And I genuinely think David is very bad at this game. I think I'm sure, a perfectly fine person. But like, he's very boring.
I think we had a question about that, or you retweeted something about that. I don't know.
About how boring he is?
About how bad he is. Like, he's just,
I don't understand how he got cast on the show in the first place for 21. Surely there were more people that were more interesting.
I said this a couple weeks ago. It's like, we are hoping that we get the David that kind of got voted out of Big Brother, but still lived in the Big Brother house for 4 weeks and was like, had a great read on what was going on and was playing recklessly and telling people, like, there was this iconic conversation between him and Kat last year where Kat's like, there's no alliances in this house. And David's like, yeah, there are. This is the alliance. And it's like, where the fuck is this guy? And I don't know. And it's weird. And it's like, you can see why Memphis is picking on him, but it's like, man.
Yeah, it's almost, it seems as if he doesn't even, and people have said that's his game. But like, it seems like he doesn't even care about the show, or isn't even like, hasn't watched in his downtime, like when he got kicked out, and knowing that he was going to come back for All Stars. It just seems like he doesn't care. And that's fine. But then, like, I don't know, then goodbye. Like, let's vote him out. Not that big a deal to me.
Yes. Oh, and sorry, Sam Kennedy is correcting me in the chat. Cody did play in the safety suite this week, so he can't play next week. So,
all right,
it's Memphis, Nicole Anthony, Franzel, Danny, Enzo, and Tyler are eligible to play in the safety suite next week, and Nicole Anthony might not be around to see it.
Yeah, no. The only person I want to go more than David is Nicole Anthony. What a tough week for me. I would have such a hard time if I was in the house.
Yeah, so I mean, we can get to nominations here. I mean, if we haven't said so already, like David and Nicole Anthony are
nominated.
The nominees, and you can
Nicole
kind of
doesn't
see it
play
coming.
she doesn't play in the safety suite. That's just an excuse. He was going to nominate both of these people no matter what.
Yeah, I felt bad for her kicking herself about like, oh, it's because I didn't play in this that he nominated me, and I wanted to stand up to him and let him know that, you know, you can't tell me what to play in and what not to play in. It's like, if you played it and lost, he would have nominated you.
Yeah.
He doesn't like you. In his defense, and something that you and I can agree with as people nearing the end of their life, age-wise, I don't want to be around 23-year-olds either.
No, I agree. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But the way he does it
Yes.
He says, now this is a new iconic villain nomination scene. He puts up Nicole Anthony. She's sad. And he puts up David. And what he says is, you're playing at the big kids table now. Explosion.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so good because, as I mentioned, the best villains are the ones who think they're the heroes, right? So
every villain thinks they're the hero.
Yes. So he's in his mind, he's like, oh my gosh, look at me. I'm probably a fan favorite. I played with Dan, who's beloved. I got to second place. I'm like a BB legend. I need to break this rookie in, you know, like you can see it. And that's what makes it so hilarious. It's like, no, dude, you're a pompous 40-year-old picking on a guy who had like a racist brigade against him last year, you know, like who just was part of a firestorm of like the worst season or one of the worst seasons on BB. And so it just comes across so badly. And it's great TV.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting blown up about other things on my phone. I apologize, dear users. So do you want to get into some spoilers, or do we have like some non-spoilery questions?
I think we should get into spoilers. Let me check the cues. So one of the cues, not spoiler related, it's from Old Z10. Guys,
yes.
Is it just me, or is Memphis giving off extreme crazy Jack Nicholson vibes this week? Great call. Absolutely. And I highly recommend, if you didn't see what Memphis was wearing yesterday, it was a tight-fitting, body-hugging, denim button-up vest, but it was sleeveless.
Like cut off.
Cut off.
Most vests don't have sleeves. A vest with sleeves would be a shirt.
Good point. Wow. I thought I went to fashion school, Brett. It was
do you like my half length, my 1/3 length sleeved shirt?
That looks like a regular length t-shirt to me.
Yeah. No, this is a vest.
It was so tight. It was painted on his body.
I mean, that is
something Jack Nicholson would wear. Go ahead.
Same with this Hawaiian shirt on.
Oh yes.
I love clocking the fashions as they come, and especially when you have a season full of olds, like something like Steve Buscemi and the iconic Hey Kids cutaway.
Hey fellow kids, yeah.
Hey fellow kids cutaway on 30 Rock. Like he was rocking like tight jeans with this like Hawaiian, like very form-fitting Hawaiian shirt that was only buttoned, like probably needed maybe one or two more buttons. IMO. And then he was wearing like these clean, crisp white like sneakers, as the kids
Sam
do.
Smiths.
Yeah.
Memphis has been to the gym, and he wants you to know about it. His stuff is toy. It is form-fitting, and it's perfect villain wardrobe. So yes, great call out. He is a little manic, like Jack Nicholson. That was another one of the questions. It was a picture of Memphis with his sunnies on, with his denim vest on, and Being Loud wanted to know, is this look working for Memphis? Honestly, yes. He looks like a villain in an 80s movie. It's great. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, he totally is. Like, any blonde man is a villain. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Yes. Big time. Sorry, Tyler.
Why I biologically am a good person, because I have a darker hair.
I guess this question isn't
any blonde. I'm still talking about how I can't trust any blonde men. Sorry.
No, I agree. Adult blonde males. This is from Coma Joan. I'm dreaming of a world where we watch David learn to play this game in real time. That he was put on All Stars not because he is one, but so we can watch him rise to the occasion and claim the title of All Star and winner before our very eyes. Is there any chance of that?
This was the question that I had seen. I had clocked.
Yeah.
It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I think a newish comp to that would be Victor, who kind of came in, who was like different way of playing the game poorly, but he was very aggressive. Like, I forgot what girl it was with, but he was kind of saying some like little like, yeah, I don't know if you talk to women that
Natalie?
way, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit of that. And as the season went on and he was voted out a number of times,
Hmm.
he started playing the game more socially, more with empathy, more of a mix of the physical and the social. And I think he won America's favorite house guest that year after kind of a rough start.
Yeah, he
where the
did.
internet was like, I don't know about
Yeah.
this guy. So different situation than David, of course, because
Well,
David is misplaying in a different way. But I think there is a scenario in which he picks it up and gets a little bit more confident and, gets 5th place or something like that.
it's just tough because this question, I mean, every year there are people who have never heard of Big Brother. There's always recruits. And sometimes they pick it up and they do really well. Like, I'm pretty sure Paul was a recruit originally. They're recruited because of their look, because of their personality, whatever. They're not super fans. They just come in and are like, how hard is this? I don't have to pay rent. I'll figure it out, right? So we see it every year. I think he's at a total disadvantage. I really feel bad for him, but I also feel bad for myself because I want to be watching All Stars. I don't want to feel bad for David. I want to be watching All Stars kick each other's asses and be like, I want people to be villains like Memphis and not feel bad for David. I want to watch Janelle and Kaysar be underdogs and Danny call people out and Devon be messy but hilarious. Like, I don't want to feel bad for someone. So
yeah, I know.
So it's tough. Like, I just think they did him a disservice. They shouldn't have brought him back for this one. They should have put him on a second chance this season or something.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year, BBO.
Yeah, bring him back next year. He'll have spent the most time in the house of any house
What
guest.
we should do with David is we should do a live, die, repeat Edge of Tomorrow situation where he keeps replaying Big Brother until he wins every year. We did have a question in the chat from Sam Kennedy who wants to know if we thought Danny was playing a good game. And I think I know the answer to this question from you.
I love her game. You know why? And this might be polarizing. This might shed a new light on me that you guys aren't ready to accept. But I really think if I was in the house, I'd be playing like Danny. Yeah. Because she's doing what I think a lot of people do when you're thrust into a situation with people you maybe don't know that much, but you have like certain things in common. You try to find a common thing that you can talk shit about. That's what Danny's doing with every single house guest. She goes in and she's like, yeah, she fishes around and sees who you don't like. And that's how she rings you in. Because she's like, oh, yeah, Memphis does use too much toothpaste. He's kind of selfish. Like, it's a really, really good strategy because people love to talk shit. People love to have a common enemy. So she does that with every single house guest. And like through that, she establishes like, you're comfortable talking shit with me. I'm comfortable. Like, so you can trust me. If we can do that, then you can trust me with information. So everyone's feeding her information. She's playing way too hard.
Yes.
Way too hard, but thank God.
That's my worry with that. My worry with that strategy is when you exclusively, and this is some real life advice for you people out there as well. If you know someone who constantly talks shit about everybody to you, that person probably talks shit about you.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
I think I just don't like those people are just like, they fucking weigh on you. The people IRL and in the game is because eventually everyone puts together that it's like, everybody puts together that they've had a conversation with Danny where they've spoken shit, and it's like everyone's put the receipts together that, oh, she's spoken shit about me, that I use too much toothpaste, I use too much deodorant or not enough deodorant.
Yeah,
not my problem.
Yeah,
I smell clean, everybody. So I just think that that's going to add up for her, and I don't see that really getting her to the end because if anything, it could lead to a bitter jury, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, think she's doing a pretty good job of it. And I mean, listen, it's just what I would do too. I can't help it. I see myself in Danny. And so, yeah, I think she's going to flame out big time. People are going to start connecting the dots. But I'm still enjoying watching her. And I really think, thank God for her, because she is moving the game forward. And without her, we'd still be like in week 1 bullshit mode. I have something very fun from Twitter.
Oh,
Brett.
please.
I want to give a shout out to Shannon.
Oh,
and
yes,
you should give
this.
You must give a shout out to her as well.
I saw this. Now, we don't have a website, but
No.
our website is not cameo.com. So you're getting a free one, Shannon, and whoever wrote that in, because
from
we're
Jill
not charging
June.
$35 for you to give free shout outs.
No, we're just tickled pink you would want one. I mean,
Shannon.
Yeah, we just wanted to give a big shout out to you. Thank you for listening. And thanks to Jill Jam June for asking us to do that.
Hell yeah.
And then
this is the thing you can do on the podcast now, I guess.
Finally, from Phil of 9, Memphis is officially bringing the BB over the top energy. She needs a chill pill. Quick question. Does our Angel Bay Janelle stand a chance? I feel like people are obsessed with her. Nicole F. is literally writing her dissertation on why Jay sucks and the socio-political impact. Does Janelle have a chance? Well, a chance to do what exactly? A chance to win? Absolutely not. A chance to further ingrain herself as America's favorite Big Brother player ever? Absolutely. I don't know how this is quite a magic trick, because we talk all the time about how you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I don't think Janelle is going to become a villain, which is
You're right.
amazing in this day.
You're right. Well, I mean, it's because it'd be interesting if she performed well this season or her last season. Like she was voted out like second, right? In BB.
She was voted out really early.
14 was what that was, right?
Yeah, BB14. I forget when she went out. I think it was before jury. Yeah.
No, yeah, it was like second or third or something like that. Like,
yeah,
it'd be one thing if she was pawing her way to the end. Like,
right.
I don't know. Not that she's a bad player. I think in a game like this, I mean, we saw this in Survivor. Like when you are an iconic player and an all icon season, or like when you are an iconic player, it's just a big target. And like, same thing with Kaysar. Like, honestly, it's going to 50-50 if either of them even makes jury. Like, I don't see it. Like, they had a great conversation that someone, I think it was Toombs, posted on Twitter today. And it's like this is why everyone loves Janelle and Kaysar. It's like, they're like, oh, everyone's against us. We have to win HOH. And like, we're going to blow this damn thing up. And it's like all the classics that you want out of these two.
Yeah.
It's the one old version, old people reboot, Bad Boys 3, Still Bad, whatever came out last year or whatever. You're like, oh, yeah, I don't really want to see 55-year-old Will Smith like driving around in a Lamborghini. Like, I'm kind of cool with the original Bad Boy movies, or name your
Men
reboot.
in Black,
Men in Black 9, Die Hard 9, whatever. Yeah. Like, this is the one version of like the Hollywood, like, hey, remember Bill and Ted? They're back, everybody. Where it's like, I'm happy to see them, but also like I don't think they're going to do very well. Like, it's going to be them versus the world until they can put together an alliance. And maybe this is a good transition to spoilers. I don't know. Do you have something to say there?
Well, all I wanted to say really was just that cherish the time we have with them. I don't think they're long for this game at all, but they are really fun.
Loved ones and dogs.
Yeah, they're fun, and their take on the game is very refreshing. Where they're so used to just playing it for fun, or at least that's how they're seeing this season. They were like, I'm not doing it that much because it's the pandemic. So sure, I'll come play this game that I played 15 years ago. Their take on it is so great. They're like, why is everyone crying all the time?
They played when George Bush was president. And like when you could be a regional sales manager and go on a show and be like, well, I do talk about the art. My real job, I see if the R² value is high, and then I send the right.
I determine the market value.
So, yeah. And then when it's over, you're like, okay, I'll get back to my job and my kids, which is what Janelle and Kaysar have done. And then you have like a more desperate sort of people. Like, do you know what David does? I guess I could Google.
I
this
think
on
it's
the
I think
internet.
he's like a sales. I think it's
But
sales.
so he's been saying that he was living in Atlanta for a while, and then he moved to LA. Like after Big Brother 21, he stayed
Of
in LA
course. Sure.
to be a salesman, just be a sales guy, or to like, you know,
I just
go
think
to
everyone.
clubs and like try to be noticed. I don't even know what the hell. How
That's the
people
thing. They all need. I bet. I mean, what do I know? I think that Kaysar, Janelle, Memphis, they probably spent a little time in LA after their seasons. They probably partied. They went on Bold and the Beautiful. They had their kicks. But the lesson to learn from them is then they went home and started real lives.
Yeah.
Like they didn't try to milk the party forever. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, watching Janelle, I'm like, I should go into real estate. And I
Oh my
have
God.
a real job. But I'm like, maybe I should go into real estate. And then I look at Memphis, I'm like, maybe I should own a restaurant. And I look at Kaysar and I'm like, maybe I should work in tech. Oh wait, I do already.
Oh, that's
But, you
R
know.
cubed right there.
but I hope that they serve it as an inspiration for these people. Like there's more to life than just being an Instagram influencer. Anyway, that's the end of my spiel. So yeah, let's get into spoilers.
Spoiler territory.
Ooh, I love the banner. If you guys
Oh, yeah.
are just listening and not watching, you're really missing out on some great visualizations that Brett has put together here.
I mean, we did only announce this one like 90 minutes out, but whatever.
Yeah, next time. So spoiler alert. We had the POV and Memphis won, which is hilarious.
First of all, the POV, I mean, so this was on Saturday. They usually play the POV as on Saturday. And let me tell you, as a SoCal resident,
Yes.
take me to Anaheim, get me that SoCal resident pass at Disneyland. Jesus fucking Christ, it is like boil an egg on the front of your car hot in California right now. Like triple digits, like when the sun is down hot. And
I couldn't be me.
Yeah. So it's so fucking hot out, and the POV does not get started. We don't know why. I don't think they don't announce why, but it's like, is there something wrong with them building the set? Is it like just literally too hot out?
It's too hot
for them to do the competition. We haven't seen the competition yet, but they don't even. I am like watching the feeds. It's like midnight. I'm like falling asleep, and the POV comp hasn't even started yet. And Danielle is waking up shortly thereafter on the East Coast, and have just.
It was the best. It was the best day ever. I woke up Sunday morning, bright and early, my usual 6:30 a.m. And I was like, ugh, I bet they're all gonna sleep all day because it was probably so late. No, it had just ended. So they were all still hyped and cracked from the competition. They were up for hours, and I got to watch them as I had my breakfast and coffee. It was awesme. I was like, finally, being on the East Coast benefits me. But so I guess it was like a holding a weight competition. And so Memphis like very easily won.
He's so yoked.
He's yoked. His biceps are large.
Sometimes when you're in the restaurant industry, sometimes, a chef calls out sick, a waiter, his wife is giving birth. You got to step in there and you got to hold that bucket full of ice.
Yeah. And I mean, we've all seen his arms in that denim vest. They're big.
They're bulging out. If it had sleeves, maybe the vest had sleeves, wasn't a vest to begin with, became a vest when he flexed, when he brushed his teeth, and it popped out.
So he won. Everyone's running scared. They want to put up, Janelle and Kaysar want to backdoor Franzel, and everyone else in the house wants to backdoor Janelle and Kaysar. Memphis is too strong-willed. He's just stubborn AF, which was delightful to see. So we had
he
the
likes
veto meeting.
Janelle and Kaysar.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come to and honestly, he's playing this. He's pissing off his own side of the house so much that if fucking Franzel wins HOH, she might just nominate Memphis instead. Like he's pissing off his own side so much that he might get nominated before Janelle and Kaysar do, because they can get to Janelle and Kaysar next week or the week after.
Yeah. but the noms stayed the same. Nicole
Yeah.
and David are up.
Yeah.
David's had like he did a little like crying tour where he cried to everyone in the house, which he can do on command. That was like the one interesting thing about him.
Oh yeah, I remember that from his
Yeah.
intro package.
So he did that.
I'm David. I'm 24. I'm in sales, and whenever whenever I'm in a big meeting, I just cry until people buy the until people buy
yeah. So that happened. They're both. I'm not sure actually who's going. I'm pretty sure Nicole is going this week. The one really weird thing that's been going on in the feeds is that for whatever reason, I don't know how, but like Nicole thinks that Janelle and Kaysar are the reason she's up. She hates them now.
That's the thing. So Janelle and Kaysar are like campaigning for her,
yeah,
but haven't told her this.
Yeah.
And I think this stems from there was I might be getting this wrong here, but Nicole wanted to go up and talk to Memphis.
Yeah.
And Janelle was in there with Memphis. And it was just like, it was like a sort of like thing that you would see in a rom-com where it's like, oh no, it's like in The Wedding Singer when Robbie is walking to Julia's house and he sees her dressed in the wedding dress and like laughing or whatever.
Julia.
Yeah, it was right after she was crying, right? And then she makes herself happy by saying, "Oh, my name is Julia Hart." And he thinks she's happy because she's marrying Bobby Gulia or whatever. So it's a sort of situation. So Nicole, stay with me, everybody. So Nicole is going up there to talk to Janelle and talk to Memphis. Janelle is in there. The door is locked, and she can hear Janelle and Memphis laughing because they're talking about stocks or whatever adults talk about. And Nicole thinks that they're laughing about like nominating and getting Nicole out of the house.
Yeah.
And it's just a total Julia Gulia situation, as we all know. So
we've all had those.
So she think, and then also it's like you talk to Danny, and Danny's like, "Yeah, totally. Janelle is such a B."
They all hate Janelle. They're all
like they all hate Janelle. So she goes to talk to, and she doesn't know who to freaking talk to. And it's like, man, if Janelle and Kaysar even talked to Nicole Anthony about trying to save her and got like Bailey and Davon in there, got Kevin in there. Kevin and Nicole are close. Like, oh, there might be a formidable opponent to the commission or whatever the hell. Is the commission just Cody in Memphis, or is the commission the Nicole Christmas?
It's just Cody and Memphis because they're still trying to figure out a name, I think, for the bigger one.
I watched Christmas and Tyler think up some names for themselves last night. They're a little. Tyler is. Remember last year? Was it when Tyler was on that everyone was in love with Tyler? Like,
yeah, everyone was in love with Tyler.
Christmas, in love with Tyler.
Of course.
Just preview for like the montage in like week 5.
Yeah.
Where Christmas is like, I don't know, I feel so many strong emotions in this house. I think I might be in love with Tyler.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That's fine. I mean, he's so whatever, Tyler. This game, it's fun to watch him. I will say, I think he's perfectly fine. It's fun to watch him struggle. Like, it felt like his season was so easy for him. So it's fun to watch him play with people other than like having to deal with Caitlyn and Sam, 2 total psychos. It's fun to watch him deal with people who are like a little bit better than him and not willing to just listen to him. Like him dealing with Danny,
It almost makes him a bit like I kind of felt the same way. I've kind of been like, he's kind of endearing right now because
definitely.
He's a little bit confused. He kind of is finding himself falling into all these final twos with people. He's not crazy about doing it, but his personality is just like he's comfortable when he's just being like, "Sure, dude. Oh, okay, sounds good." Right. Tell me more about like asking people, making people feel heard. Like it's a good strategy. So
we'll see how far that takes him. So Nom stayed the same. Nicole and David up on the block. I'm really hoping Nicole goes. I just can't take it. She's got to go.
She probably is going to go. It's sad, I guess BB21. She should have, talk about dying a hero. Like you get third place, you get America's favorite, you come back, and like you're living that podcast, playing that podcast host lifestyle. Like, she gained all this confidence, and then she dove into the pit with Hey Julie.
Yeah.
And
Oof.
she was like, "Oh shit, there's some real monsters out there."
Yeah, we are.
And yeah, and like, you know, she lost all that confidence. She came back. She didn't really know what she's doing. She doesn't really know the right people to talk to.
Yeah, let's pull the plug before it gets really painful.
She seems like a great person.
Yes,
And she
for
was
sure.
really great her year. But I mean, same thing with Keisha, right? Like,
Mhm.
good player in her year, got very far. America's favorite. Like, we're gonna have 2 female America's favorites who
Interesting.
placed
Yeah.
like top 4 or something like that. Didn't Keisha get a 4th or something like that her year? I don't know.
I think, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Placed very highly who are not going to be in the game anymore. So.
But it's like we gotta snip those people now. Like I'd be happy to see Kevin go next week. I also would be fine seeing David go. I keep thinking like, okay, David's gonna get nominated, then he's gonna start playing. Okay, David's gonna like play for the veto and not win, and now he's gonna start playing. So I'm gonna say it again, and I really hope he actually does. David's gonna stay. Hopefully then he will really start playing because I just don't see it right now.
As I was saying, like, I feel that next week is going to be a really interesting week because like we're set up for people for if it's Janelle or Kaser win, if it's Franz or whatever, we're set up for if an HOH, whoever the next HOH is probably going to make a big move. And let me tell you what, David is not a big move. It seems like next week is going to be someone going for a queen.
Yeah,
right?
so he might slide by.
About chess here. Yeah, exactly. Like, I you know, who knows, especially with the safety suite, especially with the power veto, but it seems like there's definitely going to be some big shots being taken next week. And if he, you know, puts on some sunglasses and a hoodie and like hides in the right bedroom, like he might get to the jury after this week. So
yeah,
there's still a lot of time to, you know, who knows, maybe a faction can be put together to get David out, but
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's been, so fees have really picked up. I'm excited. Memphis was a great HOH in terms of HOH-itis and drama. So really feeling good. Hope we can keep it going for next week.
Absolutely. I'm stoked on it. I'm here for it. Danielle watched the aftermath of a West Coast competition of
so
you know, so
people were
great.
correct.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. You know, always tweet us at Hey Julie, tell a friend, tell an enemy. Watch us on the live stream that Brett has so amazingly set up. Leave a review or a comment, and we'll see you next time. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.